it's Tokkuri Yashi. How is everybody doing? Hello there, Akina, how are you doing? We have this new feature here that translates chat on my side and matter the. It's translated your message as matter the, but you have to say hello, and we can understand it. So, hello everybody, how is everybody doing? It is the beginning of the new month, or it will be. It is in Japan, it will be for the rest of us in a few hours. That means new story event, new characters, and a first, maybe a first, I don't know. What we have today for is summoning for Valkyria Riri, and then we are going to have a look at challenge quest. You can see a June challenge quest. It is a challenge quest, not challenge quest beta. So it looks like, as I've had a little look at it, they have finalized what the mode is going to be like. They have changed it a little bit. They seem to have sacked their mascot cannon. Maybe she's found something else. Maybe she said she didn't want to do it. Maybe they weren't going to pay her enough. Anyway, we'll have a look at that later. But this might be a little bit of a spoiler for people if they have not read through the story in Rebirth Maidens, our new story event, because I do think that they will be a little bit cagey with letting us know who we was getting this month in the story event, which new characters there were, but it was all a ploy in this story event. And for the first time ever, we will be able to have a look at the new characters before we've even summoned for them, before they have even been released in game, before their banner is even here. We can see the new 3 characters. When we change the date, I guess it's Daily's time then. Keep up the spirits. Thank you very much, Akina, for those well wishes. We have to reset. Sure, that's why I started at 9 o'clock UK time, because that's reset. I could reset it before we jump in, but I forgot. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's, before we even start our summons today, gives other people maybe a little bit of time to get in here, have a look at Riri, Kuria, and Puresia, Valkyrie, because we can use them against the boss here, the quest boss here. Again, spoilers perhaps if you haven't already looked at this yet, but I'm sure you will get there very soon. And we can see here, we have support characters for this fight here, and 3 of those support characters are the new Puresia Valkyria, the new Kuria Valkyria, and Riri Valkyria, who I suspect this is what we're getting for the rest of the month. We're getting Riri now, and then maybe Puresia on the 10th and Kuria somewhere around about the 20th. If they don't release all 3 of these now, I think maybe the community will be a little bit annoyed, but I guess they have done similar things in the past. As well as we can see their art, we can even see their skills, which they were translated earlier, but we can see what they can do here. We can see that Puresia is a booster character, light magic booster character. We can see that Kuria here is a light magical tank character. I don't know why this has disappeared, it was there before. And Riri, as we know, is light magical breaker. Air Kit is actually still in here. Don't know why the other 2 isn't there, but we had a little look at what they all do, and it's all to do with damage over time, basically. So it looks like all 3 of them are going to work pretty well together. Hello, Cheng, how are you doing? Good evening to you as well. Good night, Akina. Thank you for hopping by. Yes, it's pretty late for you. Thank you for stopping by. So we can have a little look at all 3 of these, and we can maybe see from what they do. I've had a little look through their kits, and we can see what roles they play, which ones are rather important maybe to summon for. Maybe we don't want to go for Riri, maybe we want Kuria. Honestly, I think Kuria is probably the most important of the three. From what we've seen today, being a tank character, a magical tanking character for single target, we really don't have that so far in the game. We have been using Akari and Yori Angel versions as the tanks for the team. Perhaps it's sad to see them go. I was quite happy that they became meta relevant again. Anyway, they don't have any equipment, so I don't want them to do much damage. What will this light team look like then? I suppose we're going to have an enemy on it and then one more character. And that looks more or less what the new single target light magical team is going to be. Characters like our Dream Pack Ma, who really use multiple targets, but has been put on single target. Maybe, where is she? Our New Year's Saren. Maybe what we've seen use as much on the top team. Maybe Akari and Yori. It's a shame to see them go again so soon. L'Oreal could make a comeback. She really could do it making a comeback. But we haven't seen Yui or Hatsune that much either. Anyway, let's go in with these three. And we didn't even see their animations and everything here. If we just slow it right down. I don't think I've got the skip on. I don't think I have the skip on. Let's see. Let's see how quick it takes. How quickly they can beat the boss. Because it might be very quick. At which case, we'll have to do one at a time. You need a tank for water. Well, there are a few good tanks for them. For water as well. But you have to wait. Maybe summer. Summer characters will be coming out in July and August. Maybe we will be able to get a good tank for water there. Or maybe there'll be a returning one. Who do we have as the tanks for water? Well, my brain's gone dead. Anyway, let's have a look at these three here. We should be able to see they do damage over time. All three of them are kind of supporting each other a little bit. Obviously, Korea is the tank. Riri, I think, does do a lot of damage. Can we get a Union Burst out of them? Let's see their animations. Oh, there's all three of them in there anyway. So, well, there's Parisias then. Do I have I don't have the skip on, do I? Please tell me I have the skip on. Right, we will be back. Let's get this skip off. We just got the cut in, didn't we? We only got the cut in, right. Minor technical issues. Don't worry about that. That's normal. Minor technical issues here. We'll turn it off for Clown Battle, but we didn't turn it off for everything else. Right. Take two. Take two. Let's go back in then and see these three in action here. As for summoning for these three, well, perhaps it could be a very easy skip for everybody, seeing as there should be a pre-fest at the end of this month. Then we have summer, and then at the end of August, after summer characters, half-year anniversary pre-fest. And as we were saying, all three of them work with damage over time. They need other damage. Well, they need to have damage over time on the opponent to get extra parts of their passives. You may need all three of them to run the top team, at least two of them. So if you're not going to do that, maybe just skip all three and focus all your duels on the pre-fest character and the summer characters coming over the next few months. Considering all three of them are for the same team. So what they are asking us to do here is quite a lot, actually. It's summoning for 3 new characters to run 1 new team. Which, for a lot of us, is a bit of a tall ask. Which is why skipping them might be an idea. Alternatively, if you can get one of them and borrow another one, I guess not every comp will have all 3 in them. In which case, you may be okay, but getting it 2 and borrowing 1 would still be a pretty big ask. But I would say Korea as the tank is likely to be the highest priority out of the 3. I'll probably roll for Korea and skip the other two. Yes, Shaggy agrees there. He's going to be summoning for Korea and skipping the other two. If these summons go well for Riri, for me, then it's likely that I will unfortunately have to skip Precia again. She's more of a buffer, just mostly supporting. Korea has attack debuffs. She has a barrier for the allies. It mainly gets physical opponents though. So that's why she seems to be a little bit more high priority. The three of them mandatory to be gotcha for the light magic party. Well, that's what it is looking like, yes. We don't have a free welfare character this month, so yes, I think all three will be limited characters, I should imagine, and it's likely that we were going to be running at least two, if not all three of them, together in teams. Single target light magic is what they're running on. Next clan battle, we must be getting a boss that's single target and is weak to light elements, where I'm sure they will excel. Bosses that are very susceptible to damage over time, like we had with Maho, Gurapan Maho last month, with her damage over time. Anyway, there we go. That is the three new characters. Two of them haven't even had their banners released yet in game. And we can have a little look at them here. They do look pretty good together, all the Valkyries, but yes, it is pretty high requirements to get all three of them, especially with Pre-Fest and Summer coming up. We can see here, Riri is looking like the highest DPS out of the three. Precia, well, like I said, support and tank their career. So, now we've had a look at that, let's see how my summons go for Riri. We've been using her. Yes, we've been using Riri, and we haven't even summoned for her yet. So if anyone's just joined and they're wondering how did the summons go? Well, we haven't summoned yet. We're going to jump in there in a second. The artwork is actually very tempting, and it really has to be, doesn't it, for this time of year. Thank you, good luck. Thank you, good luck there for Shaggy. We have our rainbow tickets ready. As we said, they have to be pretty tempting. As I've already said several times, what's coming up next? Two Pre-Fest characters by the end of August, which I would honestly say is probably where we want to be focusing our jewels. That's what I'm saying, but what am I doing? I'm summoning here for Riri. So let's jump over to her gotcha banner then. And as we can see, till the 10th of June, I suspect we'll be getting it. One of the other two on the 10th. Probably Precia, because she was originally in the artwork before they went Valkyrie form. And I think there is things that Korea needs to work out in the story event. If my brief skip through it has let me understand anything. Anyway, yes, limited character here. What more is there to say then, other than Gambate? oh, Gambaru, I don't know. Can't remember the end prefix, which is the tense. Good luck, everybody. Let's see how we do then. With our first 10 pull here, even if we can escape this banner with still two multis, it's gonna be hard to justify pulling again this month. Which is why maybe, like I said, doing this is a bad idea. I should have probably just skipped all three and focused on the Pre-Fest in the next month. But we are here, so Riri, please. Karen, please, can we have some rainbow papers at least here? Rainbow papers at least. We did okay with Rui. Can we do better here? Hopefully we don't have to go worse than that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is there a surprise? Again, always download bar is off. But still no rainbow papers here. Multi number 4 then. Still no rainbow papers, Karen. We're going to be all the way. First rainbow paper is going to be Riri. We have to be getting one soon. We need some more rainbow papers. Oh. Pinky, pinky, pink. We need to do our magical ritual or something here. Multi number 5 then. Still no rainbows running in. Oof, this one is looking difficult. And it's looking very unlikely. It's looking very unlikely that we're going to be summoning for the other two. Come on. Number 6 then. Karen? Can we go the entire way to pity without getting a 3-star? it's looking like that, isn't it? Multi number 7 then. Oh dear. Well, surely multi number 8. Hachi, 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 hachi. Here we go. This is Riri. Surely. Multi number 8. Our first 3-star. There she is. Has to be Valkyria Riri here. Let's see then. Let's see. Come on, please, please, please. But it's new. There she is. Well, number 8. Multi number 8 again. Lucky number 8. Lucky Hachi. Hachigo. Oh, that was looking deep, Chaggy there. That was looking pretty bad. It was looking very bad indeed. Whew. There she is. 8 multis. We have our Valkyria Riri there. So, what has that left us with? We are still over 2 pitches worth of jewels. So, because obviously I want to summon for the pre-fest. Probably want to summon for the first summer character, which will likely be a character that is first arrived as a pre-fest. It could be like Summer Christina. It could be Summer Lariel, but I've already gone over this with Lariel, already having a character this year. It should probably be somebody like that, which would make them quite high interest. Anyway, poof. I'm so lucky. Well, if you call that lucky, we will take it. We will certainly take that. Could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. But like I said, if you're pretty low on jewels, it might be a good idea. Unless you desperately, desperately, desperately want to run the best single target light magical team, to skip all 3 of these and focus on next 2 months. So we have our Riri then. We're going to build her. We're going to give her a little bit of a test. Although what is likely the case here is that she will not be able to run at her full power until the other 2 are in game for us to use outside of that story event boss. But we can give her a little bit of a try. We can see what she can do. We'll get her rank. We're still at rank 40, 46. We didn't go up to 41.3 So we'll leave it as it is for now. Let's get it ranked up. Let's get it 5-star. Let's put some EX equipments on here. Ooh, if you can find my drink there. Where is she now hiding? We're still at the bottom here. Next to Anne, who's also waiting on being built there. Hello, Franco, how are you doing? How's Franco doing? Waving away there. Hello, how are you doing? Nice to see you. When is Sheffy's pre-fest? She did have a pre-fest a couple of years ago, didn't we? Princess Sheffy is a pre-fest character. It is likely that she will get another one. And obviously, being a pre-fest character, she will be available on any pre-fest banners that are upcoming. If you don't have her, she's the only water pre-fest character that we actually have. So, yes, maybe we'll get another Sheffy pre-fest at some point. I'm still waiting for a lot of the villains to be ready to be released as pre-fests that are in the more recent story arcs. But will they be ready by the end of August for half anniversary? We'll see. Well, we need them for limit breaking anyway. It's lit, let's buy them. Let's buy another 30 then. That should be enough. Oh, so they let us buy another 10. Whatever, let's come back and we'll get them all later. It's weird, these shardy things. These shardy things, what am I on about? Anyway, Ascension, 5-star Riri. 5-star Valkyria Riri, there we go. So now we can get another 40. We're plopping all over the place. We get another 40 to a limit break here. So let's grab those. Then we get some EX equipment on there, and then we give it a little bit of a test. Although we have already seen it in action a little bit today. She's jumped up a little bit. She's jumped up a little bit. She's hiding. Now she is. Surely she's not this high. Nope, that's Shizuru with purple hair as well. It's so difficult, isn't it, to spot the character you're looking for. You go up and down and up and down. Anyway, maybe we should just start using rings, even if there are a limited character. We've got plenty of them there. I heard from a friend that Sheffy got the prize from the third one. Which prize is this? The prize from the... Who's the third one? That's not... well... We'll see if we do get that. Another Sheffy pre-fest. But I don't know who the prize from the third one is. Is anyone? Anyone else? No? So, what equipment does our Riri have? She's magical, so obviously she wants a magical bookie, and probably giving her one of these newer tomes might be a good idea, because I do think she is quite high on her DPS, so attack is probably quite valuable. We have got one of these we can give her, or we can give her this. Magical attack. That's... We've re-roll that one for a bit more defense. She has guaranteed crits. I think she has guaranteed crits in her kit, which is why this one would probably not be the best, because that'll boost crit rate. So she wants this one. We may have to re-roll some of this. And that crit rate. We're not going to need that crit rate on there either, if she is going to be using this one mostly. Or we could just swap with this one. What's this one got? definitely better. Could still be better still, but definitely better. And a accessory piece. There is the attack one, which I don't think she wants the defense one, so we'll give her that. Which is going to need to be re-rolled. And we'll go and buy a tome for her. So let's jump over to Ultimate Synthesis. Everyone's favourite screen here. Where we will re-roll for our skills. I still haven't used these rings too much with the TP on them. Anyway, it was this one, was it not? We still have a few of them. Yes, Riri is there, that is the correct one. So, whoops. We shall grab one of them. We've got plenty of this currency now, so maybe we should start spending it. Let's stick it on her, and then we know where it is. Then we know where it is. There we go. So let's re-roll these ones. So, there we go. Ultimate Synthesis. What has been going on over the last few days? Maybe we could give that a carry one. We've got some defense penetration. Maybe we'll keep one just in case. We'd always use the spheres on them. Anyway, what has been going on? This is where we sat to talk about some other different things. Probably usually Hololive. And, well, this whole last week, I don't know if anyone else has been watching the Ian Reco, the enigmatic recollection for Hololive EN, where they do a role-playing in Minecraft in Lebestel, their little fantasy world Lebestel. And this, we do look forward to this. Was the third season of it, the third series, and it was a lot of. I think it was a lot of fun. I liked watching. I mainly watched Ina, obviously. So a lot of fishing for the lake, the River Prince and the Lake King as a supplier. I think she was mostly, but then she changed to be a jeweler. They all get to pick a job and do quests and go into dungeons and stuff. It's all pretty good as they're role-playing. It was a little bit funny, and I think some people had a few words of criticism about it. I still enjoyed it. Ooh, 3 defense pen. We'll keep that one. Even some of the members said that it was a little bit rushed at the end, and they could have done with a bit better planning. They had other things planned that didn't quite work out. You missed seeing those tacos. Well, the VODs are still up there if you really wanted to go back and have a look. At the beginning, Shakira, that was Kiara's character, Shakira, was killed. And it was mainly because she was otherwise engaged at Dokumi and couldn't continue. So the whole mystery was who killed Shakira. Was it Morden Ramsey, who was Callie's character? Or was it somebody else? And again, spoilers for anybody that is going to watch, because they both have to pick either the rebellion side or the hero's side, I suppose. We just want that to be attack, and then we'll use it. We'll use orbs on it, and that'll be fine. That'll do. Let's just use. Do we? Or should we? We've got plenty of these. Do we use one more? We've still got another one to. We've still got another one to re-roll. And yes, at the end they were supposed to have a trial, and Sister Shuri and a lot of funny goings on in her church with a rather dodgy hidden room underneath it where she was asking people to kill themselves. It was maybe the only way that they could get out because there was no other way out. But overall, it was fun. I like well, it was like tag. I really wanted to chase battle out at the end where the Advent characters were all running away and all the others had to catch them. It was quite interesting. I really enjoyed it. A little bit of criticism about it, but yes. Looking forward to the next season, which... Do I have everything? I don't have everything. Do I have everything? It's all here. Which will probably be a while away now, so... It's the accessory piece we want. Where is Riri's accessory piece? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? It is here. There we go. Right. So, the other big thing, I suppose, that has been happening. Well, it makes you want to. Well, Ian Reco, back to that. It makes you want to go. Makes me want to go back into Minecraft, but it's finding the time. And the other thing that's been happening quite recently in the streaming world is Forza Horizon 6. I don't know if any of you else out there... Oh look, I think light levels have dropped. Just a little bit. So it's time for illuminations. Anyway, I don't know if any of you really out there like cars. Forza Horizon 6, it is based in Japan from what I gathered. Each of the Forza games is based in a different part of the world. This time it's Japan, which is why loads of people are liking it because there's a car culture there. And I've been watching several people play. That's another game I would like to play, maybe, but I don't know how or when I would even have the time. But it has certainly been interesting, and some of them, Hololive's members that have played it, don't really know a huge amount about cars, but it's still pretty fun. Other people I've been watching, you watch Subaru play it a bit. Is Subaru good at driving? Does she know a lot about cars? Did she use a Subaru? Other people do know a lot about cars, and it's been pretty interesting. My current car that I have, even though it is a Japanese manufacturer, isn't in the game. And that's because that manufacturer has none of their cars in the game, which people are a little bit surprised about. Maybe they'll be added later. But it certainly has a couple of my older cars that I used to have in the game. One of them's driving around all over the place. It's a common car, the Mazda 3 MPS. The Gen 2 one, that was my last car. And here's a little bit of trivia for you. My old car, my old Mazda 3 MPS, is, unless somebody bought it in the last few days, for sale in a dealership somewhere in the UK. Because whoever I sold it to seems to have traded it in already after only a year. And it is now for sale in a dealership somewhere in the UK. So you could own, if you really wanted to, a car that Yashi used to own himself. Although I would probably advise against it because I know what has happened to that car. I sold it, I got rid of it because it was having transmission problems. So unless they have fixed the transmission problems on that vehicle, I would stay well away from it, to be perfectly honest with you. And quite annoyingly, they're selling it for about £3,000 or £4,000 more than what I sold it for, with an extra 10,000 miles on the clock. Anyway, that's enough about that. Other cars I've owned that are in, well, obviously, a couple of Subarus. That was my favourite car that I've had in the past. Both... No, what the second 1.6? 1.6 is okay. Both the Bug-Eye and the Blob-Eye Subaru Impreza WRX. My favourite one was the Blob-Eye one I had. Really, really missed that car. I wish I could have it back, but we could maybe have one in Forza, but there are also loads of cars in there that we would really like to have I would really like to have if maybe I could afford them one day. It's it is really fun though, seeing people drive around in that. Lots of different things to do in that game. Iris tried to use a steering wheel set up instead of a controller, which is a lot more difficult to do. So to start with, she was pretty bad, and by the end of it, she was still bad, but getting better. Certainly getting better. People I watched today played it. She streamed it last night. And then right at the very end, she got to, and again, spoilers, although most of you are probably either not that bothered about the game or already seen it anyway. She got to the part where you were racing a Gundam, a mech, a giant mech, and it was cinematic. It was cinematic, that's for sure. Pretty entertaining. Anyway, where is our attack? Where is our attack for this piece of equipment? Where is it all gone? I've seen a lot of the JPs have been playing it, obviously in Japan, and even I recognised parts of the Tokyo that they've created in game. Shibuya Crossing, even though I've never been there myself. Like I said, I have watched people live streaming around Japan and Tokyo, and so I recognise the places that they went at least. That might have to do. So yeah, people know Japan a lot better than me, say it is very, very realistic, and they do feel like they are driving around in Japan when they are driving in that game. So it does look like I said, it's a pretty expensive game, but again, I wouldn't mind playing it. I suppose the hype will die down eventually anyway. So that'll have to do for Riri. Let's send her into a little training fight now. As we have seen, last clan battle, both the bosses that are weak to light are both multiple targets, so I guess it doesn't really, it's not really the best place to put them, but that's made me think of one thing. She does put on a status which is damage over time, so I'm assuming that it is only one enemy in front that has that status on it, and it is not all enemies, because it doesn't say all enemies. Anyway, let's just send that in on her own. And let's see if we can see that damage over time. And I'm pretty sure it'll only be on the first node, not the back two nodes. She puts it on from a union burst, so we won't have damage over time until she has done a union burst. So if she could hurry up and get a little bit of TP, please, Riri. So we can have a look at that. Now it's double instance damage there, we can see. Oh, finally, here we have a union burst. So even if you don't have the others, at least you can see the little sprites of Persia and Korea there. So now, oh, everything broke. She did hit some of the back nodes, do we? Although we can see damage over time, it's still only on that first node there. It's only on one node. So yes, I do think, seeing this, she is pretty much limited to single target opponents. So let's back out then. Let's build a team that we can now. Just see how. I'm sure we'll be fighting physical because it's physical opponents that Korea is better against with their barriers. So without those two, Riri is the only character on this team, as far as I know, that can, or as far as I can remember, that puts damage over time on. She needs that to get extra parts of her passive. We had been using, so what the team would have been, maybe something like this. And then maybe that. And as we can see, it's not working. It's not working at all, because Riri sits far too far forward. So again, with this positioning, it means if you get Riri, if you're quite lucky like me, and you get Riri, you're probably going to need Kuriya as well. So we're going to need to summon a game just to really use this character. So if I can borrow a Kuriya when she comes out, maybe we'll get away. Perhaps you would get away with this because our Yori here does have a taunt. Where is it? Where is the taunt? There's the taunt. For any allies that are in front of her, we'll be fine in this setup because it's a training boss which is very weak. But again, we can see they have designed 3 characters. It looks like that. You're going to need all 3 of them to be able to run the team. Look, I guess this training boss, she nearly died there from that first hit. I guess Yori hasn't got it taunt up yet. There we go. Well, it was a skill 1, wasn't it? So she should have it taunt up by now. Surely she should have it taunt up by now. But on this team, I guess we can compare damage to Sarin and to Akari. But again, I don't think Riri is running at her full strength without her other Ultimaiden allies on this team. So we can only do what we can do. We can only see this much for her so far. Let's speed up a little bit. We'll keep the animations on at least, so we can at least see the new characters' animations a little bit. Definitely seeing this. I do think Kuriya, as I felt like I keep saying, is probably the highest priority of the 3 to at least try and summon for. So damage is already pretty high. We're already over 1 billion and we've still got 30 seconds, more than 30 seconds to go. So, and well, I suppose this boss isn't susceptible to defense reduction. That's one of the things that Riri is doing. Although when I looked at it, it wasn't huge numbers, but I guess, again, the whole point is all 3 of them are putting on small amounts of defense reduction. So when you have all 3 of them on the team, it all mounts up and it all becomes an actually decent amount of defense reduction. Anyway, let's have a look what we got from there. 1.89 billion. That is a pretty high score. From memory, maybe once or twice I have seen a team get over 2 billion against a training boss, but it's very rare to get that high. And her damage in this battle was lower than the other 2, but again, I don't think she's running at full power just yet. And some of these may not even be on the team. Could we try a different setup here? Because, I mean, the only other light tank that we have, light magical tank, is Kururu, who is multiple targets. She will sit in front, won't she? She will sit in front. But I don't think you're going to want to run her too much together. They're not going to run together that often. Multiple targets, single targets. So what else can we try then? This is why I guess testing her without Kuriya at least is going to be pretty difficult. Who would we put in other than, say, the New Year's Sarin then? Maybe there's somebody I'm missing. It's Nenika maybe? Nenika might be okay. She kind of works on multiple target and single targets. But that's the name. We've got Yui. If he was fighting magic, maybe this EO. But again, I think this team is lining up to be better against physical. We can try a Nenika there. But again, this tanking setup is looking a little bit dodgy. So we'll do this then. One last run here. We'll see how we go. A little bit more support, I guess, from Nenika here. Then we'll go over and have a look at Challenge Quests. Challenge Quest, which we didn't get halfway through the month, like we usually do. But that was the beta version of it. Now I think they've released the full version. It is no longer in testing. And they have certainly added some new features to it. I think they're taking a lot from Battle Stadium in terms of requirements to get stars when beating these bosses. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat the entire thing today. Normally that mode would be a stream on its own. I was thinking, do we just not talk about it today and then do a stream just for the challenge quest in the future? I guess what we'll do is we'll have a look at it today because it's new. We'll give it a bit of a try, and then maybe, as I suspect, we're going to have to come back and do another stream where we're going to try to get full stars for it, because there's probably some of these missions that I've seen people struggle with a little bit that are a little bit tricky. So we'll have a look at that in a second. How did we do here? Less damage. We did less damage than we did the first time. I suppose as a percentage their damage is down even more. So maybe that team we ran first was the better one. But as the new Valkyries release, we're going to be losing probably Akari and Yori off the team. Yori will be replaced with Korea and Akari with Perez, even if Perez is on damage. So maybe we could keep Akari on you. Anyway, that is a question for another day. When they release later on in the month, as we said now, I suppose we could put Riri here. Although we'll put her here for this video. She should be so close to Rui, and Riri should be very close. They will jump into our challenge quest like we said we would. Do. Come on, downloading bar. Whee! Finally, it's been lubricated. Whee! So, always summoning. When we start gotcha games, when we're young, when we're fresh, it's all exciting, isn't it, to summon? And when we get old and veteran-like, we breathe a sigh of relief once summoning is over, because it's a trauma. Anyway, there she is. So, challenge quest, not challenge quest beta, challenge quest. Oh, it is challenge quest beta. What am I on about? It's here. It's still challenge quest beta. Does that mean it's still a test? I did look for news about this, couldn't find any. So, it is still challenge quest beta, unless this is actually, it could actually just be a translation error. If we do this, nope, it is still there when we take the translation off. So it is still challenge quest beta. So maybe they are going to change it again then. Maybe they are not going to keep this exactly, but it is different. And Cannon, the mascot, is now gone. She's disappeared. She's been sacked. I don't know what she's been doing. Maybe she quit. Maybe she said, I am not doing this. Anyway, as we can see, we need to get 3 stars on each of these boss fights, like we did before. If they are tricky, maybe there will be good places to test characters, which I was hoping the other ones were. But maybe they won't, because you need to beat them in one team, so that's probably not. But as we can see here, for the first one, we have 3 of these goals. Very similar to Battle Stadium, this. Except we're fighting a boss instead of 5 enemies, 5 ad enemies, I don't know what to call them. So we need to win this one with 0 fallen characters, with 5 fire elemental characters, and within 1 minute. With 1 minute remaining, so this fight shouldn't be too difficult. We've only got 30 seconds to beat it. And when we get all of these stars, we get our rewards here on this little meter here. So, 3 stars gets us mana all the way down to all 30 stars. We get another one of these growth spheres here. Very, very valuable, this growth sphere. So if we can get the 3 stars, that is something that we would like to do. So, without further ado, let's jump into this first fight. Let's see how far we can get. We're not intending on getting all of the stars. We can come back to that, like I said, in another stream another day if we need to. So we can have a bit of information, but it shouldn't be difficult. So what are we going to build in terms of a fire team to take this out quickly? Now, Era has kind of been shifted off the team a little bit recently, hasn't she? Maybe we'll have Cannon's Revenge for this first one. It'd be kind of fitting. Let's use Cannon then as our tank instead of Pecorine. Well, let's have Cannon's Revenge here. Well, I guess that means we're going physical. Where has she gone? Ho-chan, that's who I'm looking for. Ho-chan, there you are. And then we could use Era, or we could just put our 2 new workers in. Oh, they got equips on them. Maybe Mifuse could be a little bit better. Maybe Aoi's could be a little bit better. Anyway, let's see how we do. This shouldn't be too difficult as it is the first fight here. We need to beat it within 30 seconds. Within the first 30 seconds. There we go, we did manage to do that. I guess for newer players this might be a little bit tricky, especially if you are a little bit behind on Princess Knight, which has reminded me. Cannon, they're doing most of the damage. Cannon's Revenge, there we go. Just for the first fight there. So we get 3 stars on that one. I always forget to do this. We summoned a new character. That means we have 3 more master spheres here. Masterpieces. So we can get another 2% of magic crit damage. So let's put this in here. There we go. We have that. What's the next one? All characters, elemental boost. So that'll be interesting to see what when we get them. So back to Challenge Quest. Okay, so let's have a look then. Our second fight is Toughgeist. And for this, we need, again, no falling characters, 5 water elemental characters, and win within 1 minute. So exactly the same as the first fight, except for water element. So let's see. We can see what water tanks we have, because my brain forgot. What again? Should we try physical again? Who do we usually have as our water tank these days? I'm going to stick in some of our newer characters here that I would like to try at this one. Where's she gone? There she is. We usually use Violet. Why did Violet leave my memory for a few minutes? Why did Violet leave my memory for a few minutes? Anyway, we don't have any action speed here, do we? So I guess that's going to be the last one. Let's try Christina. She worked pretty well last clown battle. A very slightly different team. We didn't have Shiori on it. Let's see how it does anyway. Oh, it's Toughgeist is multiple targets. So this is not the best team to go in with. But that just shows how weak Toughgeist is. That we beat it with a single target team. Oopsie. Should I say oopsie? So don't run this team. If you're having trouble with this team, don't run this team. Because it is not the best team. But it did the job for me. We should have gone multiple target for that one. So, yeah, maybe some Pecorine would have been a better choice. But clear, there we go. Pop. We get a pop. We've popped the Toughgeist. Right. I guess as we are going to red stages now, that denotes that We're going to get a little bit more difficulty. So Zizzy here. We have one that is not translate. So we need to win with a party of 5 light elemental characters here. We need to win with, well, we'll have 40 seconds now. So we'll at least 50 seconds remaining on the clock. And this last one, Taipu Character Wo Ni 2 type characters of something or other. Win by forming a team with 2 or more magical type characters. So they're saying that we have to go, we don't have to have full magic, but we need at least 2 magical type characters in there for that mission. So this is single target, so we want single target light magic. So shall we try that team we was testing Riri with? Let's see what happens. Now I'm sure this Ziz hits a bit harder, so Riri might actually die pretty quickly because Yori might not get her taunt up fast enough. I mean, Cinderella Maho might not be a bad option for a booster character here, perhaps. Let's see if that helps keep Riri alive a little bit here. Instead of putting in Saren, well, as we can see, that, my friend, is the problem. That is exactly what's going to happen if you don't have courier. So, I guess if we go full light magic here, we can't use our new Riri, which means we're just going to have to go with the old team. Something more like this. Where's she gone? Up and down, Saren. I'm searching for Saren. I can see Christmas Saren, but I can't see New Year's Saren. There she is. Just search by light. Right, let's see if this is better. Is Akari going to go down straight away here? She managed to survive. Her little sis looked after. Where to pull? I would say certainly have a long, hard think before pulling for Riri. I don't know how much you've heard from what I've been saying before. For Riri to work well, you're probably going to want Puresia and Courier, who will be the next 2 characters. So that's 3 characters you're going to need to summon for. At least 2 of the 3 characters you're going to need to summon for in the next, within this month. And we're getting pre-fest at the end of the month, most likely. And then it's summer. And then another pre-fest in August. So it's a lot to ask to summon for 3 new characters, all for 1 team, because they're all light magical single targets. So, if you are willing to spend all of your jewels on getting all 3 so you can run 1 team, then maybe they will be pretty good. But, as I keep saying, it is probably the smart thing to do is to just skip all 3 and save those jewels for pre-fest and for the summer characters. Unfortunately, we can give a better answer to that question when all 3 of them are released. But by then, 2 of the balance will have gone away. So that is what they're trying to do here. So with that, unless you've got like 200,000 jewels saved up, I would probably recommend, if you go for 1 courier, and maybe you can borrow another one to run the team. Otherwise, you might be better off just saying, I'm not going to bother with single target light magic and run one of the old teams, like we've got here, in their place, if it works. And it might not work because if the new Valkyria characters are used, then the boss is going to be pretty weak to damage over time, which means that a traditional team like this may not do quite so well. So these are a lot of things that we need to think about. But we will talk about this again tomorrow when we do a video on Riri and we have a look at and have a look at her in a little bit more detail in that, I suppose. Whew. So, that was all 3 stars for Zizzy we managed to get. So, Goblin Rider then. Dark Element. Well, again, is that physical or is that magic? So 5 dark attributes with 50 seconds or more remaining, and yes, physical. 2 or more physical type allies. Now we do know this guy is multiple target. I need to remember that now. So dark, multiple targets, physical. So these are recommended. So we want dark, multiple target, and physical. So we're going to have Mitsuki on there, I think. We'll certainly put Mitsuki there. Are we going to have a Yamato tank? She is a multiple target tank, so let's give her a try. I mean, maybe the Dark Ultimatums. We never really run all 3 of them together all the time. So perhaps we won't run all 3 of the Light Ultimatums together, but I think they do work better together. And their synergy is definitely better. So, anyway, enough of that. We'll talk about all that later. So we want a speed buffer and someone else. Maybe Eriko, perhaps. We'll stick Eriko on there. We'll see how it does if we need to. Well, say if we need to change things, we'll change things. But if I do manage to get all the stars on this, then we'll do another stream, trying to get all 30 stars, but ooh, we've only got a few seconds left. I don't know if we're going to be quick enough. Well, actually, no, it's 90, isn't it? Or 50. So we have a few seconds left. Ooh, we're just in time. So I think that is all 3 stars for that. I suppose what they are trying to do with these missions is give use to a lot of different characters, so we don't just use the same ones again and again and again, so we can meet the missions, which is pretty good on one hand, but on the other hand can be very frustrating for players that are missing certain characters which would help with those missions. So let's have a look then. Stage 6. What's this guy called? Sky Valkyria. It looks like physical again. So, 5 wind elemental characters. It looks like at least two physical type allies on there. I think that can use the physical one if I remember it right. Yep, physical. And again, 50 seconds or more remaining. So again, same conditions, just wind element. Now this is a single target opponent, so we're going to need to go single target wind physical, I suppose, unless we wanted to mix and match. And I suppose we could mix and match if you wanted. So of course we will have our Shizuru tanking. I don't have Erika, so we can't put Erika on the team because we can't borrow. So we have to go for the old setup. Do we have Wakana instead of Erika? I suppose we can. Last character, there's a few options we could have. We could maybe put Kokoro on in that place. Good support. Maybe that would speed things up a bit of TP. Shiori or Rei might be a good option here as well. Possibly Arisa. Shall we go for... I don't have Summer Paresia. That would have been another option if you have her. Maybe we'll try Kokoro. We've already got action speed here with Shinatsu, but still Theo might be a good pick to run as well. Let's send in Kokoro then and see how this team fares. So if we win, we've done 2 of the 3 missions. Can we do it with the time limit then? If the time drops below 50 seconds remaining, and it might do here because we need a bit more damage. We do need a bit more damage, girls. It might mean... Pretty sure we're going to win, but will we win in time? And it's looking a little tight here. Ooh, no, we need to be a bit quicker. We certainly need to be a bit quicker. So maybe some of the other options might have been a little bit better there. We will move on because I would like to see how many stars we are missing before we come back and have a look at changing the teams up. If there's enough stars missing to do another stream or a video on it, maybe we'll do a full 30 full 30 stars. You just use stamina to use this, doesn't it? And no, the old team isn't there, so I'm gonna have to remember what teams I used to get 3 stars. Anyway, let's move on to Titano Turtle here, who is bit dark. Multiple targets. Oh, this time we want 3 magic, is that? 5 dark attribute characters. They've given us a little longer now, so within 40 or more seconds remaining. And I think that's 3 magical characters. It is, yes. Recognizing that kanji there. Can't take any credit for it. It's not too much rocket science. Anyway, let's build up multiple target dark magical team. Well, we could go with that core of the Karyori and maybe Ilya team. Let's see how that one does. And then we had Nenika on it, I believe, and then probably Violet tanking. There she is, there she is. Other options? I mean, possibly Tensei Karu could help on some sort of a setup. Although we want to be doing this quickly, and she gets a lot of extra sort of support and passives, you know, immunity and all that later on in the fight. Let's see how we do then here. This has been a proven team. Pretty sure it was Violet that was tanking for it. At least this Akari and Yori are still good, although there is a bit of pressure for a spot on this multiple target dark team. But it looks like, I think we've got this in the bag. But huge disaster. There we go. Yori finished it off. We did that one with the same requirements as the easy stages, with 1 minute remaining. So there we go. Our 3 stars for Titano Turtle there. Stage 7 here. Stage Nana. No. Rokunana. No. Anyway, let's see. War Orc. 5 fire elemental. Again, 40 seconds or more remaining, and physical again. I think this is 3 or more physical allies. I'll just check that, but I think that's what it says. Yep, physical allies on there. So, let's see. Fire physical against War Orc, I think. We don't fight this guy very often, do we? I'm pretty sure he's single target though, so I'm going to assume he's single target. And we're going to build for that. This time we're going to go with Pecorine then instead of Cannon. We could try Cannon's Revenge if we needed to. Shall we go with a traditional, say traditional Aira team? that means we probably then want just support. We didn't use Arachne, did we, in that first fight? So a little bit different. Let's see how we do here then. Against the War Orca. So again, unless he's damaging, doing huge amounts of damage, we'd probably be okay in taking him out. But can we take him out with 40 or more seconds remaining? Well, there we go. What am I saying about damaging? There goes Pecorine. Can Aira hang in there though? No, the team. The team. We need. Oof. So that was what I was going to say. They're taking from Elpis Battle here, this, time remaining, and they're taking it from Battle Stadium. I'm going to try that team again. And I am not being silly by trying this again, because we're going to try one thing. Unsetting Neffy and seeing if that allows Pecorine to survive. If it doesn't, then we will swap the team. Or maybe we'll give Cannon a try. Although Cannon, is she even more squishy than Pecorine? She does have Pecorine good defensive equips, and it's still not enough. Right. This is where things might get a little tricky. So we need to change our team up a bit. I don't think Cannon will tank better, but we'll stick Cannon in. Because what else we're going to do is... Arachne debuffs. We want to keep the debuffs. Don't know if I really wanted to take Ho-chan out. Let's go with the workers again. Aoi does work a bit better against multiple target, but let's see if we can keep everyone alive with this. Maybe we could try Pecorine instead of Cannon if Cannon goes down. Maybe Nana? She did put a taunt on Cannon, because being the closest ally. Exactly. Right. Yes, Mifu, that was a bit... Like I said, we'll try Pecorine there. I'm not holding up the biggest hope, though, that this will work. Maybe we want to take Arachne off and put Ho-chan on. Oof, exactly. This guy is savage. Look, he made Aoi cry. We cannot be letting you get away with making Aoi cry there. So, okay then, Aoi, what we're going to try and do then is Cannon, and we're going to try Nana. And we're also going to try... Because we've got 2 DPS, kind of 2 DPS, maybe Arachne is the best. Yes, so let's put Ho-chan back on in her place. We could try Maho too, she's pretty good. Support too. Where's she gone? Ho-chan, there we go. Let's see how this works. Hey, what? What happened there? We haven't run out of stamina? We can't run out of stamina. What happened? Me being silly. Nana said, no, we're not running in. We are not going into this. There we go, there we go. Begin battle. Why did it want to begin? Did I accidentally hit cancel? Like a numpty. So we will wait with bated breath for that first attack, which takes us completely out. Right. This is a variation of what we started with. Let's see how this does. We really need survivability here. That is what we are missing. Ooh, well, ooh, I say ooh, but ooh, second attack took us all out. So instead of Ada there, then is this a job for Miho? Is this a job for Miho? When they were together, Akino and Saren and their multiple targets, I was thinking about Saren and her invulnerability, but no. And Misogi's debuffs are only for multiple target opponents, so the debuffing there isn't going to work. Let's try Miho. Maybe we could also try Hiyori, Alpha Astral Hiyori. Come on, Boko! We need Boko to take care of this brutal Orca here. He has a taunt on him too. But, okay, so we survived that, but do we survive this second attack? This second one might come in and cause some trouble. Ooh, we're surviving. We are surviving. Maybe it is Miho and Boko that is the answer here. We have 6 seconds. There we go. I think we got all 3. Did we get all 3 stars then? There we go. Ichini-san. All 3 stars. So there we go. Everybody should have Miho. Miho and Boko there. That is the win button. Then maybe for this wild orca. So there we go. Oof, we actually get some jewels in here. That's one thing. You did used to get a lot of jewels in this mode. So we have our last 3 fights here then. Which are, as we can see, the colour changed. I guess that means the more difficult ones. So, we have Lace Collector, or Wraith Collector. Wraith Collector. And for this, we have 2 conditions here. So we need, that must be 4 or more physical characters. We need to have Tebafua. Include 2 or more debuffer, yes. Character wo ni. Anyway, I'm not going to bother anymore. 2 or more debuffer characters on the team. 35 seconds or more remaining. And 4 physical types. I did see people complaining about this before. This is a battle that you really need Rurui for. As a debuffer character. So we need 2 or more debuffers on a physical team here. Where's she gone? Debuffer. Another debuffer is Eriko. Summer Eriko, is she a debuffer who I don't have? So who would be the second debuffer that I could put on? Pirate Shinobu? Oof. Not the best. A Cinderella Makoto. Also, not seen a lot of use recently. 30 pulls! Way! Nice one there. Got her in 30 pulls. Well, that should save you a few jewels. We could give you... Whee! There we go. Some happy parties. Well, pretty good stuff there. Pretty good stuff there. Although, we're going to have to wait to see how the other 2 work with her. To see how good she is going to be on that light team. Anyway, here we're looking for another debuffer. We could put Sono, although she's magic. So is Summer Kasumi is magic. So this is going to be tricky. Who is better? Cinderella Makoto or Pirate Shinobu? Seriously, I think this is one of the more difficult ones, and we need 30 of these stars to get that growth sphere for unique equipments, which is very valuable. So now who do we put on? We haven't got a space for these two. We need damage, so we're going to try Bunny Grace. Although Pirate Shinobu did used to do a decent amount of damage herself, I honestly think, well, there she is. She's gone. Bye, Shinobu. So let's try Makoto then. Let's try Makoto then. But I do think, I'm pretty sure, Eriko. Why do they have the so similar names? Summer Eriko is probably the better debuffer to run alongside Ruri. And I guess the fact we can't borrow on this mode is also very, very difficult. So if this doesn't work, we don't fiddle around with the team, maybe we're going to have to ignore that quest, that's a goal of 2 or more debuffers, which will be very disappointing actually. Because then we will not be able to get that growth sphere. Same thing is happening again, I'm pretty sure. Is there a different tank we could run? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure Violet is going to be the best one. And then Grace is going to get down again because it's exactly the same as last time. So how about we try Shiori in that role? I mean, again, we could have one debuffer that is magic because we need 4 physical. So we could try Sono in that space or Magical Girl Kasumi, but that's not really going to help the team. Well, Shiori didn't want to do much here either. Pretty difficult mission this, I have to admit. So let's put Shinobu back in. Let's try Christina instead of... Maybe we don't have to have a speed buffer. Maybe that's tying our hands a little bit too much. Is the new Ray? She has a New Year's Ray has a taunt. Could possibly be a option. Because this seems not working, is it? Not working at all. Right, so let's try that then, shall we? I mean, instead of our ghost friend here, Grace, maybe we could try Sheffy. Maybe Sheffy would help here. Who might we put in if we're not going to run a speed buffer? One of those two, I'm thinking, like, again, Naya could help keep us alive if this is what we're struggling with. Again, works better on multiple target, but she has been put in that role. Can Ray... Ooh, she can't taunt that Union Based. And we're all down again. We want to take Shinobu off the team. Right, what we're going to do then, let's see if we can build a team that can just win. Forget that condition of 2 debuffers, and let's see if we can at least find a team that works well against the Wraith Collector here. Well, not Sheffy in that spot. She is... Indeed. I think 6-star Sheffy would survive better. Maybe Tamaki? She has TP drain on her or something, or some sort of debuff, and if I can remember, that might help. Well, she went Nyan Nyan and then went Splat. Okay. Perhaps a double tank is what we might want here. Riri, she helps keep us alive, but she's in that place there. She's probably going to go Splat herself. Do you like the pre-con story? I have to admit that is one thing that I haven't really kept up to date on. Mainly because, well, you have to wait for it to be translated. But, so yes, it's something that I mean, it would be nice to... It would be nice to really understand a bit more about what's going on, but it's not something that I have kept up to date with, which maybe I should. Maybe if Shori went down, how about we... I mean, running Ameth isn't the worst. We are allowed at 1 magical character, aren't we? She might help keep us alive. Now Riri's... How long do we keep trying at this before we decide to just try the other fights and then come back to this at a later date? This is recommended. Is that all my water characters? Surely not all my water characters at the top. And we could try Nea. She'll sit there, she'll debuff and be a little more tanky. Oop, now we've got it. Set. Gain. You're writing a pre-con fanfic based on Dragon Ropal. Dragon Ropa? It is on AO3. Well, if you send me a link to that, I will certainly go and have a look at it. Oh no, as Grace goes down. As Grace goes down there. And I suppose anybody else who would like to have a look at that, I guess I could send a post out so that anyone else who wanted to have a look at it could have a look at it too. Grace dropped. Do we? Take her out as a DPS then. Sheffy went even quicker. This is like hit and miss, this isn't it? I don't know if you let you send the link. Oh well, no. If there's not a link, how can we go about this? Give it a try. If not, I'll have to have a think. If you can't put a link here, you'll not be able to put a link on a comment on a video or a post either, so that might be a little bit tricky. If there was a Discord, but if you was in a Discord, You could do it on a Discord. If you could find me on Discord, you could send it to me on Discord. It's the most recent thing on the pre-con tag, I think, on the website. Well, on the website? Well, it is just Tokkuri Yashi. It is Tokkuri Yashi. just Tokkuri Yashi. Let's send another team in there whilst I'm figuring that one out. Who else could we try? Like I said, ooh, we may end up giving up on this one. I have to move over to the next fight. Yes, just Tokkuri Yashi with no underscore is the name. I never know which is your username and which is just your name on Discord. Anyway, if you can find me on that, if not, we'll figure it out somehow, I'm sure. Right, we're still alive. That's a good sign. So, maybe we started to hit on something here. Can we at least beat Wraith Collector? We haven't done it with in the time limit. Or is there a time limit on this one? I forget. No, there isn't, is there? There is a time limit on this. Oh, there isn't. There is. The eternal battles of indecision. 23 minutes to go. I think we may have at least beaten him here. There we go, we get a win! We finally get a win. Which gave us 1 star. So yes, there was a time limit, so we need to get back in here, do it a bit faster. And we need to do it with 2 debuffer characters. That, as uni, face plants, is exactly what I'm thinking about that mission. So I think we're going to come back to that at some other time, because 2 debuffing characters, that is going to be tricky. You're probably going to need, like I said, Rurui and Summer Eriko. And so maybe it's not worth even trying, because 27, if we get 27, we get this. We need 30 to get this, and this is what we all want. So, stage 9. Let's move on to stage 9 and have a look at stage 9 then. So again, we have the same requirements here, and that is again debuffer character. There's a yes, 4 physical, 4 physical, 2 debuffer, and 35 seconds remaining. Now, I think Lust Dragon was multiple targets. If it's the same fight we had in Elpis Battle. So, we need wind debuffers this time. And it was physical. That is physical, I believe. I should check, but pretty sure that was physical. Yes, it is. Physical and 2 or more debuffers. So, who do we have physical debuffers then? You could be an option, Suzume, for a physical team, but she's magic, so we need to have physical characters for the other 4. Who else do I have as a debuffer? Spring Suzume, Aoi is a debuffer there. Student Aoi. Where's Siori? Ranger Siori, I've not got to here yet. Anemone is a debuffer. We could use here, perhaps. And this dude is multiple target, isn't it? We do want to be thinking more multiple targets. So maybe Anemone. See, it wasn't. I'm not going crazy. This is not all when it says recommended, all of our characters are not here. All wind characters are not here. Where is, unless I'm going blind, where is Ranger Shori? Not there. Then we go to wind. Yeah, the Rays appears, Shori has appeared, Ranger Shori has appeared here. There's another debuffer. So what are these recommended? Is there something in these recommended characters? Anyway, multiple target physical. I mean, Shori might not be the worst pick. We have got a Mimi here with their SP1. Our SP1 is on. Maybe that's a place we could run here. Well, there is Princess Ray. Could be an option here. Who do we even... We hardly even use multiple target. I'm assuming it's multiple target. We're getting there and he isn't. We'll put in Theo as a speed buffer. Maybe Anemone could tank this herself. Anyway, I'm sure we're going to have to try again. If we do this in one, I'll be amazed. But we could try Shiori. Let's see how many nodes the guy's got. The Lust Dragon. I think it is 3. No, it's 2. So maybe 6-star Shiori would be a good option for this as well. Don't even know which game mode it is. I'm still a noob at pre-con. Well, this is one of the more recent game modes. And by the looks of it, it is aimed now at a little bit more at long-time players. Especially if you want to beat these missions. Why is he Lust Dragon? Because he is related to... And I always say a name wrong. Elshat, is that her name? Who is the, I don't know, goddess, the queen of lust? Is that in the story? Have I remembered that correctly in the story? Is this not something to do with hair? Is that not why it is the Lust Dragon? Well, we won. We did it with 2 debuffers, so we should have 2 out of the 3. Is Theo magic? Theo's magic. Theo is technically magic. That's why we didn't get 4 physical characters, because we have Suzume and Theo. But at least a win indeed. At least we got a win. It is silly, lusty, very lusty dragon indeed. Okay, so that's why we always stick Theo on a physical team. We think nothing of it. Technically, magical character. Right, so I was going to say, let's see if we can do it a little bit quicker. But taking out Mimi, who I you say with her SP1, and we're trying 6-star Shogi, although she's not recommended. We need one more physical character though. We don't need Suzume, although I'm sure she did a pretty good job there. And we could stick in let's see if this team can be a little bit quicker. So now we're aiming for a quicker win and the 4 physical characters. Which Anemone, isn't it? Anemone is technically a physical character, isn't she? Even though she can do magical damage. I guess we don't have to do all of the quests in one run. So I guess we don't have to have a full elemental team on that water fight against the Wraith. In physical need, what if Kokoro? Yes, let's try Kokoro here. Which means maybe we can use a debuffer from another element. If the team works, it can at least beat the fight in the time limit. We could at least get that debuffer mission done by using a debuffer off another element. Maybe that's something to try. Well, we're certainly not beating him fast enough with this team, but if we can at least beat him, and I haven't made any more mistakes, we do have 4 physical characters, so at least we can get that goal beaten. So we still need to do it a bit quicker. But we had our 4 physical characters at that time. So at least we're getting there a little step at a time. We just need to do it a bit quicker. Anyway, we didn't jump back into any of the others we missed. Let's take on stage 10 then, this Minotaur. And see how we do against that. And then we'll see how many stars we are missing. You won, therefore, I am a good at pre-con. Because your suggestion works. Well, very, very good indeed. Kokoro did work to some degree there. So, for Minotaur then, with 30 seconds or more remaining, this is a 4 magical characters and 2 breaker character. So 2 breaker characters, which actually is probably not as bad as debuffers. So 4 magic, 2 breakers, sorry. 4 magic and 2 breakers. So who do we have for magical breakers? Like I say, we have we have Hatsune. Minotaur single targets, probably not. We have this breaker. Maybe we are not expected to beat this until the rest of the Valkyries are released. It is an event that is here all month, so we don't have to rush in and beat it on day 1. Maybe that is another thing they are trying. You need to have all the Valkyries, and you can't borrow to get the win against this Minotaur. So here on their own is probably not a good idea, unless that means we're going to have to probably use Kururu as a tank, which isn't optimal against single targets. So what other breaker might we want to bring for a magical team? He is physical damage, so perhaps New Year's Hatsune could work. There might be a few options. What is Kasumi? Sister Kasumi, is she a breaker? I can't remember. I don't have her, so maybe if she is a breaker, maybe she's an option. Kururu is the main character on the fanfic. This is prophecy. It is June already. Happy new month. I say happy new year. Happy new month. Oh, hello, Y. How are you doing there? Just joined. Congratulations on getting here. Well, thank you very much for that. I would certainly recommend everybody else to at least have a think before they summon for Riri. Wait and see how things start to pan out. We're looking for breaker characters here. We are looking for breaker characters because we need 2. We have 2. Who else could potentially be an option here? And where is Anemone? Because our summer Anemone, that's about it that I have. So I'm hoping that these 2 work. So we're going to have to run these 2. Oh, she's physical. That Yukari is physical. So nope for hit. Probably want an Emily on the team. And who might be our last character? I'm hoping the Hatsune and Riri could take the damage for us. So I'm not too keen to put on another attacker here. Maybe Larael, who is floating around. Maybe Nenica. Maybe Cinderella Maho. Anyway, let's run this, see how it does, and then we can change things up a little bit. I'm going to summon for Parecia, just because we like her. Well, good luck with those summons. Ouch. Again, I am certainly thinking here that this is a fight that we will need Korea for. Valkyria Korea. She puts up a lot of defense against physical opponents. She can work as a tank for Riri. That is what I am thinking is going to happen here. Certainly think it's going to happen here. Does Cinderella Maho only buff physical? I don't think. Let's have a little look. Because yes, I did have note here as an option on here. Is she in the recommendeds? Oh, brilliant. It's not fully translated. Can we see physical in here? We can see that. She's increasing physical attack power of all allies. So yeah, she is looking like she's a bit more of an option for a physical tier, actually, isn't she? Increases physical attack power again. Maybe we will not stick her in as the first choice then. And we could try... Because it doesn't look like we need survivability here. Not damage to start with. I mean, Kasumi is a... Well, it's not deep, we're breakers. We need 2 breakers if we're going to do this. We could always try a second tank. We'll try a second tank with a bit of a taunt. I think they nerfed Cinderella Maho. Doesn't work with Anemone. Yeah, there was something around a bit of a nerf for that team. I did look for the official announcement of it. I couldn't find it anywhere. Otherwise, I would have posted it. I would have spoken about it a little bit, done a video on it. I'll have to see if I can find it somewhere. Maybe it's not something they want to broadcast. Okay, so it looks like we're going to struggle with this fight. Especially if you want double breaker in it. Even without double breaker. For magic. We also have to use magic. At least 4 magic. Maybe Dream Pack Maho. Let's see how she fares in here. She might be helping. Can we at least get a win as Riri falls? Okay, if we just at least want to get a win, maybe we'll take Riri off and put someone else in her place. Because we are doing a little bit better here. Not too much better, but a little bit better here. or someone else in here place that might at least get us a win. Then we don't have the double breaker, which is annoying, but maybe Ameth? Let's see. Ameth might. She's certainly a character you use to help you stay alive. Maybe Angel, Yori, and a carry. Maybe we'll go back to that old setup. We could try that old setup now. We're not forced to use Riri, who messes that up with their position. But Mario Cinderella was more of a TP support than an attack. She does have, well, she does have a lot of other buffs in there as well. She does have a bit of TP, I think. But a lot of her attacks are physical. Ooh, and Lemony's down, even with Ameth on the team here. Let's try an older setup then, just to try and get a win then, with Akari and Yori. Which means we probably don't need Hatsune as well. Let's... or Kururu. Let's see how that goes. We could always take Maho off, swap her out for somebody else. Maybe New Year's Saren. Maybe keep Hatsune on. The New Year's Hatsune. To trust in Angel Yori. Well, no, let me say that. A healer, no heals. Maybe, yes. I suppose Ameth is sort of using that role. Who else could we use as a healer then on there? Extra heals. Maybe Yui. Yui's usually the healer here. What do we do with this? Is Yui going to be better than Anemone? Or do we stick her on alongside Anemone? What Nenica? Double speed buffers. New Year's Yui. Psychic. Yes, we're almost thinking the same thing at the same time. I mean, 6-star Yui, they're very similar, aren't they, the Yuis? Let's just send Nebi after the Minotaur to confuse him and distract him whilst he's trying to swat the fly. Anyway, let's see how Yui can help. Let's see if Yui can help. So all the damage is being carried by a carrier, I believe. Maybe we'll survive, but we won't have enough damage. That might be the outcome. Nevia and Karen and Kaiser work. Do you really just sacrifice things for them? They are, I believe, EX characters. No, that's what they're called, EX characters. And you have to... Yes, mana and shards. I don't know if I can show it because I have all three of them, but you need to shards from any character. So there are some characters that we have got a lot of shards for that you might be able to use. Bear in mind we need a lot of shards for special unique equipments. So yes, shards and mana isn't as big a problem as it used to be. You have to go now to continue washing dishes. That sounds fun. Hope you clear the floor. Thank you. Why? That's recording there. Thank you for popping by. I don't think I'm going to be trying this for much longer. If we can't beat it, we'll have to come back with a video or another stream. Maybe later on in the month when we have a few teams for these fights. Because like I said, it is a full month event. No need to rush it. But thank you for popping by. That's cool. I think I've never seen stuff like that from a gotcha. Well, Karen can be helpful for wind as a support. Kaiser I don't think we use her too much. But she can take away debuffs, I believe, which is rare. And Nebia is, again, full PvP, really. Just very annoying in PvP. But yes, you need lots of shards from lots of characters. Do we think physical could beat this? Is the physical team better if we just want to get a win? Or do we at least want to get 1 star? Because we could do it with breakers, 2 breakers on a physical team. Little Lyrical Trio breaker, and who else is a physical breaker? New Year's Yori, although she's not the best, unfortunately. Muimi Liberator is a breaker. New Year's Monica. Could always try that. Kojito, although she's multiple targets. See, do not have much luck with magic. Let's try, you know, think around the box. Don't be so stuck. We don't have to do all 3 at once. Let's try a physical light team with 2 breaker characters on it. And that means we want our tank for light physical. Summer Sheffy. We'll stick Summer Sheffy in. And we don't have action speed, so do we go with Neffy? Or do we go with Labarista, perhaps? Try this. Let's see how this works. I'm going to bet that Muimi gets bonked. But here we go. Why is it so hard? Well, the characters that we are missing are the characters that they haven't released yet. In the name of, at least, our Valkyria Korea. I think, like I said, this is what I can see they are trying to get us to do here. And that is summon for the new characters so we can beat this event. Otherwise, yes, as we can see, it is very difficult here. Very difficult. So let's forget the breaker character. Let's see if we can at least win, even if we don't get any stars. Let's see how this, even with Ameth on the team, we are dying. And I say that about Korea because we can see her kit. She does have a lot of debuffs to physical attack. She does put up a barrier for her allies that absorbs physical damage. That's exactly what we need here. So, oh, that's little lyrical as down. Where is my cursor? I mean, if not beyond the realms of possibility that the team might work a little bit with Labarista as the speed buffer instead of Neffy. She's not a recommended character though. Let's see how this works. We'll give it until, well, it's now 11 o'clock here, so we're going to give it a few more minutes then. And then we'll probably come back to this in the future. But yes, it does look a bit tricky. Although, new missions. Ooh, we're probably done. There we are. We are certainly done. Ouch. What was Kyoko doing there? Yes, she's there with a little lyrical trio. It does look very difficult, this, indeed. Indeed. I mean, I don't have Iroha, and I don't have Xmas Aquino. And who else might you want for damage on this team? Let's take them off. Let's put Suzuna in. She can do damage. She might not dive in further back, but that does put Aoi in harm's way by the looks of it. If that slot 2 is taking damage, taking a lot of pressure. Can we charm this beast? No, we cannot. Right, okay. We didn't even get a win here against the Minotaur. And my official assessment of this fight is they're expecting us to get all of the Valkyria characters this month to beat it. There may be a way to do it. Maybe over a few different fights to get all three. But seeing as we've had a look at this mode, we have got most of the rewards for it, but there are a few stars that we are missing. Maybe we'll come back to this at a later date with a full 30-star video, stream, guide, whatever we want to call it. When, well, we want to at least win to get them 300 jewels, but we have a full month. So that is Challenge Quest Beta. Let me know what you think of that mode, because it is a little bit tricky there. So there we go. There was our summons for Riri, our Valkyria Riri. As a character, the verdict is still out. I think you, like we've said many times, relies heavily on the two other Valkyries that haven't released yet. We'll look at it tomorrow. At least they went pretty well. Good when it does decide to summon for her. Although, again, I would say seriously consider skipping everything this month and waiting for the pre-fest that drops at the end, especially if you are very low on jewels. Otherwise, you'll summon for these three characters, you'll maybe get one of them, and then you'll still not be able to run the team because you need the other two. Anyway, we could talk about that tomorrow. No more need to talk about that. Can you help me answer pre-con questions on Discord? I can see what I can do. I can maybe see what I can do. I'm not guaranteed to know the answers to everything, but there's no harm in asking. Like this for anybody else as well, if they don't have any questions in the comments, on videos, on streams, then I'll see what I can do. If I don't know, I guess I'll just say I don't know, or I can try and find out. So that will be the stream for today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will be back very soon with more Princess Connect, I believe. Bye bye for now. Where's my button?